It was an ordinary evening at a McDonald's in Manhattan. Tyler Matthews, an 18-year-old high school graduate working to save money for college, was finishing up a long shift. The store was unusually crowded, as it was rush hour, and customers were pouring in non-stop. Tyler had been working here for nearly a year, flipping burgers, refilling drinks, and occasionally handling the cash register. Though it wasn't glamorous, he was proud of his job. It paid the bills and helped his single mother, who had been struggling since his father passed away 3 years ago. Tyler, order number 176. Move faster, his manager, Carl, yelled. Carl was a strict, no-nonsense boss who cared more about efficiency than people. Just as Tyler was about to wrap up for the day, the restaurant doors opened, and a tall, young man walked in. His posture was relaxed but confident, his expression calm but observant. There was something familiar about him, though he tried to keep a low profile by wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. Tyler immediately recognized him. It was Barron Trump. For a split second, he hesitated. He knew that the former president's youngest son had often been the subject of media attention, but he had never expected to see him at his McDonald's. Barron walked up to the counter, scanning the menu. He seemed slightly nervous, as if unsure of what to order. Tyler noticed that the other customers were beginning to whisper, and a few had already taken out their phones. "Hey man, what can I get for you?" Tyler asked, pretending not to recognize him. Barron sighed in relief, appreciating the normalcy. Just a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke." Tyler nodded. "Coming right up." As he turned to prepare the meal, he noticed Barron fumbling through his pockets, his expression shifting to mild panic. "Shoot," Barron muttered under his breath. Tyler walked back over. "Everything okay?" Barron sighed, lowering his voice. "I forgot my wallet in the car. I can go get it." But Tyler knew what would happen. The moment Barron walked outside, the crowd would grow. Paparazzi would swarm, could turn into chaos. Without a second thought, Tyler reached into his own pocket and pulled out his debit card. "Don't worry about it, man. I got you this time." Barron's eyes widened. No, that's not necessary." Tyler smiled. "Consider it my treat." Reluctantly, Barron accepted, offering a quiet thanks, as Tyler swiped his card and handed him the tray. But just as Barron walked to his seat, a loud voice interrupted. "Tyler, what are you doing?" Tyler turned to see Carl storming toward him, red-faced and furious. "Did you just pay for that kid's meal?" Yeah, but do you know who he is?" Carl hissed. "We don't get involved with politics here. If word gets out that we gave a Trump something for free, we'll get boycotted by half the country." Tyler's stomach sank. "But I was just helping someone out." "I didn't." "I don't care," Carl snapped. "You're fired." A heavy silence fell. Barron, overhearing everything, stood up. "Wait, he was just—" "I said you're fired," Carl repeated, throwing a final glare at Tyler. "Hand over your uniform and get out." Tyler stood frozen. He had just lost his job. All because he helped someone. As he stepped out into the cold night, his heart pounded. He had no idea what would happen next. Little did he know, tomorrow would bring news that would change his life forever. The cold New York wind bit at Tyler's face as he left the McDonald's parking lot. His heart felt heavy, and his mind raced with worry. How would he tell his mom? She had been so proud that he was balancing work while saving for community college. Now, after one act of kindness, everything had fallen apart. As he walked toward the subway station, his phone buzzed in his pocket. For a second, he hoped it was McDonald's calling to take back their decision. But no, it was just his mom. "Hey, sweetheart." Her voice was soft but tired. "Are you on your way home?" Tyler hesitated. He didn't want to worry her, not when she was already juggling 2 jobs to keep their small apartment afloat. "Yeah, Mom," he lied. "Just finished my shift. I'll be home soon." He hung up and sighed, staring at the city lights flickering in the distance. Deep down, he wondered if being a nice guy was even worth it. The next morning, the smell of coffee filled the kitchen as Tyler sat across from his mom. He had barely slept, After hours of debating whether to tell her the truth, he finally did. They fired you over that? Her voice trembled with a mix of disbelief and anger. I just wanted to help him, Mom, Tyler said quietly, staring down at his half-eaten toast. I didn't think it would cost me everything. His mom shook her head, reaching across the table to squeeze his hand. You did the right thing, honey. That's all that matters. But doing the right thing didn't pay the bills. And with no job, Tyler wasn't sure how they would make ends meet. As he leaned back in his chair, his phone buzzed again. This time from an unknown number. He almost ignored it, but something made him answer. Hello, is this Tyler Matthews? A calm, professional voice asked. Yeah. Who's this? This is John Peters. I'm a personal assistant to the Trump family. Mr. Trump would like to speak with you. Tyler blinked, unsure if he heard correctly. Wait, which Mr. Trump? There was a pause before the voice answered. Donald J. Trump. Tyler's stomach twisted. Was this some kind of prank? Before he could respond, another voice, one that was unmistakable, boomed through the line. Tyler, this is Donald Trump. I heard what happened yesterday. Tyler froze. The Donald Trump was talking to him. Mr. Trump, sir, Listen, Trump cut him off. What you did for my son was incredible. A lot of people wouldn't have lifted a finger. That kind of character? You don't see that often. And the fact that you lost your job over it? That's a disgrace. But believe me, we're going to fix that. Tyler's heart pounded in his chest. I wasn't expecting any of this. I just wanted to help. And that's why you deserve better, Trump said firmly. I want you to come to Trump Tower this afternoon. I've got a proposition for you. Tyler's jaw dropped. This wasn't just life-changing, it felt surreal. I'll be there, he stammered. As the call ended, he sat in stunned silence while his mom looked on in confusion. Who was that? She asked. Tyler finally found his voice. That was the former president. And he wants to meet me. His mom gasped, her coffee cup clinking against the table. Oh my God, Tyler. This could change everything. He nodded slowly, heart still thudding. He had no idea what awaited him at Trump Tower. But something told him his life was about to shift in ways he never imagined. By the time Tyler stepped out of the subway and onto Fifth Avenue, his nerves were shot. The towering glass structure of Trump Tower gleamed under the midday sun, and he still couldn't wrap his head around how fast his life had flipped overnight. Dressed in his best, an ironed button-down shirt and the only pair of dress shoes he owned, Tyler walked through the revolving doors. The luxury of the golden lobby felt worlds apart from the grease-stained counters of McDonald's. A security guard approached him immediately. Name? Tyler Matthews. I have a meeting with Mr. Trump. The guard raised an eyebrow but checked his list. Right this way, he said, motioning toward a private elevator. As the doors closed behind him, Tyler's heart pounded in his chest. When the elevator opened on the 26th floor, a sleek office stretched before him. At the far end, a massive desk stood near floor-to-ceiling windows, offering a panoramic view of New York City. And sitting behind that desk was Donald J. Trump. Tyler! Trump's voice boomed as if they were old friends. He stood and extended a hand. Good to see you, kid. Tyler swallowed his nerves and shook his hand. Thank you for, well, everything. Sit. Trump gestured toward a leather chair across from him. I heard the whole story from Barron. You helped him out without asking for anything in return. That's the kind of loyalty I respect. Tyler shifted in his seat. I didn't do it for attention, sir. It felt like the right thing. And that's exactly why you're here, Trump said, leaning forward. People these days always looking for a favor. But you showed character. And when I see potential, I invest in it. Tyler's mind raced. What did he mean? Here's the deal, Trump continued. I know you lost your job, and frankly, I think that manager is a clown. But I'm offering you something better. Tyler blinked in disbelief. Better how? I want you to work for me, Trump said plainly. Personal assistant internship, paid, of course. You'll work under my team, learn the ropes of business, and in return, you'll have a shot at a future most kids your age only dream about. Tyler's breath caught. You want me to work for you? Trump grinned. I'm offering you a 6-month internship with a $5,000 monthly stipend. Plus, if you prove yourself, I'll pay for your first year of college. You earned that much by helping my son when nobody else would. For a moment, the room spun. $5,000 a month? That was more than his mom made working 2 jobs. And his college tuition, paid? But why me? Tyler asked, still struggling to process it all. Trump leaned back in his chair. Because loyalty is priceless, kid. I built my empire on people I could trust, and from what I see, you're one of them. Tyler's mouth went dry. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Trump said simply. A dozen thoughts raced through his mind. His mom struggling to pay rent, his dream of going to college, and how yesterday he had no idea how they would survive. This wasn't just an offer, it was a lifeline. Finally, Tyler nodded, his voice shaky. Yes, I'm in. Trump clapped his hands together. Good man. You start Monday. My assistant will send the details. As Tyler stood to leave, still reeling, Trump's voice softened. And kid, don't let anyone tell you kindness doesn't pay off. It just did. When the elevator doors shut behind him, Tyler felt his heart pounding against his ribs. Yesterday, he had lost everything. Today, his entire future had just changed forever. The following Monday, Tyler stood in front of Trump Tower once again, but this time as an employee. Dressed in a crisp new suit, a gift sent by Trump's assistant, he still felt like he was living someone else's life. When he stepped onto the 26th floor, John Peters, the same assistant who had called him, greeted him with a firm handshake. Welcome aboard, Tyler, John said, leading him to a sleek conference room. Your job is simple. Learn fast, work hard, and be reliable. Mr. Trump values people who don't fold under pressure. Got it. Yes, sir, Tyler replied, trying to mask his nerves. Good, John said with a smirk. Let's get to work. Over the next few weeks, Tyler's life became a whirlwind. Gone were the greasy fryers and impatient fast food customers. Now, he attended business meetings, handled high-profile scheduling, and even coordinated with executives across Trump's vast business empire. At first, it was overwhelming. Legal documents, financial reports, and corporate strategies were light years away from what he had known. But Tyler worked harder than he ever had, staying late and studying everything he could. And it didn't go unnoticed. Impressive, John remarked one evening as Tyler submitted an impeccably organized financial report. Most interns fumble their first month. You're already ahead of the curve. Tyler shrugged, but inside, pride swelled. For the first time, he felt like his life wasn't defined by struggle, it was defined by potential. Despite the excitement, the transition wasn't easy. His old friends at McDonald's stopped calling. Some even mocked him online, accusing him of selling out. And Carl, the manager who fired him, posted on social media that Tyler had betrayed working-class values by working for the Trump family. One night, Tyler showed his mom the nasty messages. Maybe I wasn't cut out for this, he admitted. I mean, maybe I should have just kept my head down and stayed quiet. His mother took his hand gently. Tyler, the world will always have something to say. What matters is the life you're building, and you earned this. Her words stayed with him. Instead of focusing on the noise, he threw himself deeper into his work. And soon, that hard work paid off in a way no one could have expected. The day that changed everything, again. One morning, about 3 months into his internship, Tyler was in the middle of compiling a quarterly business summary when his phone buzzed. It was a text from John Peters. Mr. Trump wants to see you. Now, Tyler's stomach flipped. Had he messed up? Was this the end of the dream? When he entered Trump's office, the former president was reviewing a folder but looked up with a smile. Tyler, sit down, he said, his usual commanding tone slightly warmer than usual. I hear you've been working your tail off. I'm trying my best, sir, Tyler answered, heart pounding. Trump nodded. That's what I like. People who hustle. And, frankly, you've exceeded every expectation. Tyler felt his throat tighten. Thank you. That means a lot. Trump leaned forward, his expression serious. I'm not a man who lets talent go to waste. So here's the deal, I want to offer you a permanent position on my team. Not as an intern, as a junior business associate. For a moment, Tyler's world tilted. A permanent position? $60,000 a year, full benefits, Trump said. And if you stick with me, I'll personally sponsor your entire college education. No strings attached. Tyler's jaw nearly hit the floor. $60,000? More than his mom had earned in a decade of working 2 jobs. I don't know what to say, he stammered. Trump smiled. Say yes. You've earned it. Tyler didn't hesitate this time. Yes, absolutely yes. As Trump extended his hand, Tyler shook it firmly, his entire future no longer a distant dream, but a reality unfolding before his eyes. The weeks after accepting the permanent position flew by in a blur. Tyler quickly adjusted to his new role as a junior business associate, diving deeper into the inner workings of the Trump organization. Each day, he learned invaluable lessons: how to negotiate deals, analyze financial reports, and communicate with power brokers. But no matter how much his life changed, Tyler never forgot where he came from. One afternoon, while reviewing property reports, his phone buzzed. It was a message from his old coworker, Mia, the only friend from McDonald's who had stayed in touch. MIA, hey, heard you're doing big things. Proud of you. Wish I could get out of this place. Tyler stared at the screen, his chest tightening. He remembered how it felt to be stuck in a dead-end job, wondering if life would ever change. Without hesitation, he called her. Hey, she answered, surprised. Didn't think you'd have time to call back. I always have time for friends, Tyler said. Listen, how serious are you about leaving McDonald's? Mia sighed. I'm serious, but I don't have options. I'm barely making rent, and no one's hiring without a fancy degree. I might be able to help, Tyler said, a plan already forming. Trump's team is looking for a new administrative assistant. You're organized, smart, and I'll put in a personal recommendation. You'd do that for me? Mia asked softly. You were there for me when no one else was, Tyler said. Now it's my turn to be there for you. 2 weeks later, Mia stood in the same Trump Tower lobby where Tyler had once been. A bundle of nerves and hope. With his recommendation and her own determination, she landed the job. As they celebrated over pizza that night, Mia shook her head in amazement. You know, if you hadn't helped Barron Trump that day, none of this would have happened. Tyler smiled. Yeah. It's crazy how one act of kindness can change everything. A special invitation. A few months later, Tyler received a call he never expected. Mr. Trump wants you and your mom to attend an exclusive dinner, John Peters informed him. It's a private event. Only a handful of people get invited. That evening, Tyler and his mother, dressed in their finest, arrived at Mar-a-Lago. Under glittering chandeliers, surrounded by business elites and political figures, Tyler still felt like the same kid who once flipped burgers. At the head table, Donald Trump himself raised a glass. Tonight, I want to recognize someone special, he announced. A young man who proves that character and hard work still matter in this world. All eyes turned to Tyler as Trump continued. Tyler Matthews, you started by helping my son, without asking for anything in return. And now, you've shown us all what loyalty and grit can achieve. The room erupted in applause, but nothing compared to the pride shining in his mother's eyes. When the dinner ended, Trump pulled him aside. You've got a bright future, kid, he said. Never stop pushing forward. Those words stuck with Tyler. A legacy of kindness. Years later, as a successful entrepreneur, Tyler never forgot the journey that had started with a simple act of kindness. He built a scholarship fund to help underprivileged youth go to college, just like Trump had done for him. Whenever someone asked how he went from flipping burgers to boardrooms, he smiled and said, "It all started with helping someone who needed it, because in the end, one moment of kindness can spark a lifetime of opportunity."